What's going on, smart people? I recently switched over from using idle Python into using Jupyter Notebook, and I'm so glad that I did it. It was about time. Throughout my internship, I have to do a lot of variable manipulation. I'm defining and solving these functions that depend on lots of variables, and it's very easy to have a typo somewhere. So what I can appreciate now is being able to keep things in symbolic form in Python, display it to the screen. That way, slow people like myself can look at it and be like, yep, that's the function that I meant to define. So here I'm going to show you how to do that, and also how to use LaTeX within Python. Now, if you don't have Jupyter Notebook, what all you need to do is install Anaconda, and then it comes with it, and that's it. Then you have it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to start importing all my libraries. But before I do that, actually, I want to specify that I want to be using LaTeX, or LaTeX, however you pronounce it. The way that I do that is I say from sympy.interactive import printing dot init printing use LaTeX equals true. Import let's say numpy as np, import sympy as sp. Yeah, that's fine. Normally what I'll have to do whenever I do any kind of computational physics problems, you define your functions with your equations, and then you end up passing a whole bunch of values to it. Like I said, I'm going through hundreds and hundreds of lines of code. It's very easy to make a typo in some of these function definitions, so I love to be able to output exactly what I typed in variable form to my screen. But normally, like when I define the function, say I'm defining some function f that depends on x, super complicated function, it's really advanced, it's going to be a sine function. Let's pretend that that's a really complicated function where it's really easy to have typos and stuff. And I want to look at what I just typed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this just variable form of this function that I'm not going to be passing any values to. You can do it, but I'm not going to. I'm going to call that func, and I'm going to say that is sp.function func. Okay, and then I'm going to say that this variable or this function is going to depend on x. This is going to be sp.symbol x. Okay, and now I'm going to define this function. So what I'll do is I'll essentially just copy and paste the function that I just defined, and I basically switch all of my NPs to sympys. Okay, and then we can just display what this looks like. Display func. And then we have sine of x. We can do a little, we'll probably write a bit more, so I want to do a little bit of bookkeeping. So let's say print this my function. Cool. There's nothing really special about the way that that looks, so let's add some more cool stuff. Let's say we want to write that we are going to be integrating this function. So what I'm going to call is int. I'm going to name it int, and that's going to be sp.integral of this function with respect to x. Print this function integral, and then display int. Hopefully there's no typos. And there it actually shows the integral sign, which is nice. It says with respect to x, so it's got that dx. What if I switch this to k? Let's say I wanted to integrate with respect to some parameter k. It's going to give me an error. It's not going to give me an error because I actually used k in a previous. So this is actually very similar to Mathematica in that your variables are stored so long as the session is open, not so long as just the notebook is open. So since I used k, since I defined k as a symbol before I started recording, it's letting me use it now. Normally you'd have to define it in your code. So let's use one that I know that I haven't used. Let's say p. I'm going to do the integral with respect to p. That better not work. Okay, good. So that didn't work because I've never defined it. It knows nothing about what p is, so it can't integrate with respect to it. But if I define a new symbol, say P, this is now not symbol, it's lowercase s symbols. This is going to be P. Now it'll work. So now it does the integral of sine of x with respect to P. Okay, let's switch this back to x though. And it can do way more than this. We can actually evaluate this integral. And to do that, we're going to call it answer is equal to sp.integrate function with respect to x and display answer. I'm saying display all of these times so that it outputs every single display. If you don't have that, it'll just display the last thing that you're calling. Okay. Minus cosine of x. See, the one thing that it's forgetting, which every calculus professor ever will take a point off for, is that it's forgetting it's plus c. But other than that, that's still pretty useful. You could do things like derivatives if you want. You could say deriv is equal to diff function with respect to x and call that. Okay. Diff was not defined. Oh, I forgot my SP. SP dot. And there we go. We got the cosine because our function was sine of x. Derivative of that is cosine. Cool. What's also awesome about Jupyter Notebook is you don't have to do all of this in just the coding block that you're using. There's this one section, you'll see up here, right here, it says code. This is telling it that I'm putting in Python code here. But we don't have to be doing that. We can go to another block and switch it from code to markdown. This one's already in markdown, so I'm going to use that. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use LaTeX, which is awesome. The way that we can use it is we just have to include $signs, $2 on each side. And then we can just type in whatever we would want to normally do in LaTeX. So let's say minus frac h bar squared 2m nabla squared psi plus v psi equals I h bar frac partial psi partial t. I typed that very fast, so I probably spelt something wrong, but let's go ahead and just compile this. Oh, I actually did it. Okay, cool. So you can see here that when we evaluate each block of this, it evaluates them independently. So you have to kind of hit run a bunch of times unless there is a way to actually evaluate all of them. But you can evaluate certain blocks at a time if you want. And when we get to this block, we can evaluate it, and it actually just shows us the actual LaTeX itself, which is really, really cool. We didn't have to define symbols. We didn't have to define any symbolic function. So that's really a cool alternative to this part. The reason I still like using the symbolic part for that we did earlier is because, like I said, normally all I'm switching is from NPs to SPs. So when it outputs it as this stuff here, it'll present it in a way to where I can tell if it's the right equation or not. Since this is a different format, I'm not just switching NPs to SPs. It's not as helpful with making sure that I wrote down the right thing. But that's still, I love Jupyter now. This is a really, really useful tool for Python. I'm probably going to call it here. I don't think I have anything else to mention. Let me know in the comments section if you guys. I'm not all that experienced with sympy. This is a relatively new thing for me. So if you guys have any recommendations of little packages within sympy to try out, let me know. I'm looking forward to it. And I'll see you guys there.